is a question which raises eyebrows, that indeed the policemen were brought for a purpose. At large, a chaos occurred within the House of the Parliament, and all the policemen were witnesses of it. None of them could even make a single arrest. That aside, I say and I continue to say that it will be of the interest of the Koreans to ensure that this bill has a general consensus of the House, because come 2012, it is very likely, everything shows very clearly, that the NDC will be thrown out of office. So this is all that I have for now. For the Koreans, they should take a second look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nana Mafu of Tesco MPPK and USD. Emmanuel Osedutu, former Electoral Commissioner of the Republic Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Good evening.
Good evening, Atta.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Quickly take us through the bill on STS deal which was passed in Parliament. Parliament sitting us to even us at midnight yesterday night. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Atta. I will start by saying that although after all the chaotic parliamentary sitting characterized by heckling and also banging of tables by the minority side, as in passing the bill, has been passed, and I'm sad for that bill being passed, because I know that the first deputy speaker, that is Mr. Do Ajaho, who was one in chair, and during that meeting or parliamentary sitting, he stressed that the members of the joint committee had cited the document and that the majority just wanted to follow the legal process. But however, the 1 hour application given by the majority leader, that is Mr. Cletus Avoka, was too short for the joint committee to look at the two important documents, as in dealing with the highest single transaction of $10 billion in the country. But then, let me stress that the first deputy speaker also stressed in Parliament yesterday that even when one of the three agreements on the STRS housing projects had been withdrawn and referred to the joint committee, it took about 13 days to be brought back to Parliament. You get my point? And he also stressed that due to vest, and I quote him, legal issue related to the STX housing project was crucial for him as the speaker who is in seat, that he is going to give them that 1 hour break for them to come back and pass a bill on that issue. But then later I learned he got to know that the minority was prepared to work hand in hand with the majority in consonance with due process in dealing with the matter. But then, however, sitting was suspended for an hour and referred the papers to the joint committee of finance and works and housing to look at them, which upon that decision it did not go down well with the minority, so they started banging their tables and shouting that no way will they let that bill be passed. And as the majority went out, they sat down, as in trying to pass the bill. The minority also left Parliament in accordance to the rate that the Supreme Court served to the Parliament, thinking that yes, indeed, they must respect the rules of the land. So they met and agreed that yes, indeed, so far as the Supreme Court has served Parliament a rate, there wasn't any way they were going to sit on that matter. And aside that, the 1 hour break was too short for them. But then the majority thought wise that whatever that they've met there to do was in good shape or in good position for we Ghanaians. So if the majority think that the bill that they passed, as in yesterday 12:05 a.m., is a good thing for Ghanaians, we all live in it. And what I would say is that posterity will judge those people who sat down to pass that bill. And if it will help the nation, we live to see.
Marfu, do you think that the walkout was the best decision the minority could have taken at that point in time?
Of course, there are several options that they could take, but then I presume that it best served them for them to walk out, because indeed it declares that they were not part of the process. Atta, let me begin by saying, although Parliament is a master of its own proceedings, Parliament is indeed restricted by the Constitution. So I learned, or I heard you interviewing Honorable Skuma Odobin Brakwa, and he stated emphatically that the tax waiver that indeed has been declared on the Koreans need to have had 2/3 of the entire house, which is not only the NDC and also not only the NPP, because the entire NPP do not make up of the 2/3, and the entire NDC also do not make up of the 2/3. So it brings to bear that although the bill has been passed, one day several questions will be raised against it. Again, we realize that before the passing of the bill, Honorable the CPP youth organizer Kwabena Bomfe had already served the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court also consequently have said Parliament wait for them to have taken a look at it before considering passing the bill. But then all this intervention failed, and they continue to pass the bill. Indeed, the bill was not passed yesterday, it was passed this morning. 5 a.m. is totally considered as the next day. So assuming a whole Parliament going to consider a bill, indeed, as much as important the bill is, I don't think if they had extended it up to perhaps Monday, anyone could have lost his life due to that. But they took it upon themselves to continue, and they have succeeded passing the bill. It is preposterous for them to have done that, because entirely I've never witnessed a Parliament sitting that has sat for 2 days. Outright, it declares that there's something fishy, there's something questionable, there's something which indeed has not been declared, because it is very confusing, mind-blowing, and unintellectual. Excuse me to use those words, unintellectual, for them to have considered passing the bill. A whole $10 billion. Atta, it is the taxpayers' money which is going to suffer. Even if we are not, the funny thing is, we have succeeded in giving them sovereign guarantee. We have succeeded in having insurance for them. Have we asked ourselves, is there any counter guarantee for the Ghanaians in case they are not able to deliver to the stipulated time? Are there any sanctions, or are there any written, documented issues that we could hold against them, which would even put them on the ground to ensure that they work within the time frame? Ideally, you would realize for a fact that although it has been passed, there are several loopholes which needs to be filled. I was so much hated when the speaker took it upon himself to continue the proceedings and could only just allow for 1 hour, for just 1 hour, to look at a deal which was taken out of Parliament, and it took 13 good days for them to have considered everything which is inside. Even if we should fraction 13 good days in 1 hour, I don't know per second how much we are going to get. Are we robots? Are the entire majority robots, or are the minority robots as well as the majority robots, as they presume, to have really considered whatever written in the document? After, you know for a fact that in English, a placement of a word in a clause or in a phrase can change the entire meaning. So therefore, one could ask himself several questions. One day, the Koreans would have themselves to be blamed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana Mafu. Emma.
Well, Atta, I also want to add something to it. One thing that